Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Yeah, and today's advanced vocabulary actually comes straight from a SpeakDuo lesson.
Oh, right.
So if you want to practice, you can go to speakduo.com to meet new people from all around the world, who are practicing English on video calls. It's a great way to become more confident with your speaking abilities.
Totally. And just to set the stage, today is strictly for advanced English learners.
Right. No basics today.
Exactly. No unnecessary padding. We're getting straight into the language analysis. So the theme connecting these terms for our deep dive today is navigating intense experiences.
Right, which is so critical.
Yeah, focusing on exactly how to articulate complex mental states and actions in really professional or formal settings.
Like taking an IELTS exam.
Or, talking to a boss. Let's start with how you engage with difficult tasks or new environments. The first phrase is to immerse yourself.
Yeah, to immerse yourself, meaning to completely absorb yourself in a subject or experience.
Like, how does that compare to just dabbling? I hear people say they dabble in things a lot.
Well, yeah, think of dabbling or dipping your toes in as being really casual and temporary.
Right.
Dabbling is, you try it for a day and stop. Immersing implies a total surrounding commitment.
Got it. So an example for an IELTS Part 2 response could be, to master the new software, I had to completely immerse myself in the user manuals.
Perfect. You aren't just looking at them, you're like drowning in them.
Yeah, in a good way.
Exactly. But, once you immerse yourself, things inevitably get tough.
They always do.
And that brings us to the phrase, stay in the soup.
Stay in the soup. I love that.
It means to remain fully immersed in something difficult or intense.
But how is staying in the soup different from just sticking it out?
Good question. Sticking it out basically just means enduring time, like waiting in line.
Right, it's passive.
Yeah. Staying in the soup implies the situation is messy, chaotic, and you are actively working through the thick of it. You aren't just surviving.
Ah, okay, so in a conversation with a boss, you could say, the project got messy during the testing phase, but we decided to stay in the soup until the bugs were fixed.
Yes, that is a great use of it. It shows resilience. And, how do you succeed when you're in that soup?
I'm guessing with our next word.
Right, by being rigorous, which means extremely thorough and uncompromising in standards.
No, wait, is that the same as being strict?
Not quite. Strict implies really rigid rule following. Like, a strict teacher who yells if you use the wrong color pen.
Right.
Rigorous implies an exhaustive, uncompromising level of effort and thoroughness in the work itself.
Oh, I see. So a workplace compliment might be, your rigorous practice schedule and attention to detail really improve this quarterly report.
Exactly. It's about the depth of the effort. But maintaining rigorous standards is exhausting.
Oh, totally. Sheer willpower fails eventually.
Which brings us to psychological strategies, like when you need to trick yourself into something.
Okay, meaning to deceive your own mind, to overcome a mental block, or form a habit.
Right. And people confuse this with forcing yourself.
Because forcing yourself requires brute mental strength, right?
Exactly. It's exhausting. Tricking yourself is a clever, subtle hack to get around your own resistance.
So if I'm chatting with a colleague, I might say, I tricked myself into waking up earlier for the commute by setting 2 alarms across the room.
Perfect example. You didn't force yourself to be happy about it. You just made it impossible to sleep.
Right. But what if tricking yourself doesn't work and the soup is just too hot?
Then you need a change of perspective. You need to step outside yourself.
Which means to mentally detach, to observe a situation with more clarity.
Yeah.
Now, to me, this sounds a lot like taking a step back.
They are similar, but taking a step back usually refers to looking at the timeline or the big picture of a project.
Like a macro view.
Yeah, exactly. Stepping outside yourself is deeply personal. It means analyzing your own emotions and your own reactions objectively.
Oh, wow. Okay, so for an IELTS speaking answer about handling workplace stress, you could say, when terribly stressed, I try to step outside myself to analyze the problem more clearly.
Spot on. It shows incredible self-awareness. But, if you step outside yourself too far, or if you're in extreme shock, you hit this extreme state.
Which is an out-of-body feeling.
Right. Feeling detached, as if watching yourself from a distance.
Is that just like zoning out? Because I zone out during meetings all the time.
No, zoning out is just losing focus or daydreaming.
Right, okay.
An out-of-body feeling is a profound, really highly memorable sensation of surreal detachment during a major event.
Oh, I get it. Like explaining a big moment to someone, you'd say, during my presentation to the CEO, I was so nervous I almost had an out-of-body feeling watching myself speak.
Yes. Exactly that. So once you have that objective, detached view, what do you do with the old information?
You change it.
Right, you reinterpret it, which means to approach something familiar with a fresh or original perspective.
But why not just say remake or redo?
Because redoing is just performing the action again, like repainting a wall the same color.
Sure.
Reinterpreting fundamentally changes the meaning or the approach to the thing.
So talking to a team, you could say, we need to reinterpret the client's old brief to make it fit today's market.
Exactly. You are giving it a whole new meaning.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I imagine reinterpreting data isn't just analytical.
No, it requires trusting your gut, which brings us to being intuitive.
Based on instinct or immediate understanding rather than like formal reasoning.
Yeah. And people often confuse it with being logical, which is the exact opposite.
Right. Logical is step by step. What about instinctive?
Well, instinctive is primal or animalistic. Intuitive is a refined, subconscious synthesis of your experience.
So explaining a decision to management, you'd say, I went with my intuitive judgment on the market trend and adjusted later.
Perfect. Because it's based on your professional experience, not just a random guess.
Right. And when you use that intuition, you often find that certain tasks naturally fit certain people.
Right. Yes. Which leads to our next phrase, to lend itself to something, to be naturally suited or adapted to a specific purpose.
How is that different from just saying something is used for something?
Well, a hammer is used for nails. That's just utility.
Okay.
But a quiet acoustic melody lends itself to a relaxing evening. It implies a harmonious, organic fit.
Oh, that's a great distinction. So in a job interview, you might say, my background in data analysis really lends itself to this strategic planning role.
That sounds incredibly professional. And when a task perfectly lends itself to your skills, what emotion do you display?
I would assume excitement.
Yes, but more specifically, fervor.
Fervor, meaning intense, almost overwhelming passion or enthusiasm.
Right. And it's way beyond everyday enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is positive energy. Fervor is intense, burning, and almost overwhelming.
So for IELTS Part 2, describing a hobby, you'd say, he spoke about the community project with absolutely great fervor.
Exactly. But, fervor can be a bit heavy for colleagues.
Yeah, I could see that being a lot for a Tuesday morning meeting.
Right. So it's best balanced with a razor-sharp wit.
An extremely fast, clever, and cutting sense of humor.
Yeah. And it's different from just a good sense of humor, which is broad.
Or sarcasm, I guess?
Yeah, sarcasm is often just negative. Razor-sharp wit implies incredible speed, high intelligence, and precise timing.
So a workplace anecdote could be, her razor-sharp wit successfully made everyone laugh during the tense meeting.
Spot on. Now, wit often involves putting on a bit of a performance.
Which brings us to our final two terms about how we portray reality. First up, impersonation.
Right. Mimicking someone's voice or mannerisms exactly, often for fun.
Is that the same as mocking someone?
No, mocking is intentionally mean-spirited and insulting.
Yeah.
Impersonation is a skillful recreation, usually just for entertainment.
Like her incredibly accurate impersonation of the strict university professor made the classroom laugh.
Perfect example. And while an impersonation mimics someone else, our last term is how we pull from our own lives to create something new.
Semi-autobiographical.
Yes, partly based on real personal lived experience.
So how does that differ from a memoir?
A memoir is supposed to be 100% factual.
And pure fiction is entirely made up.
Exactly. Semi-autobiographical blurs the lines.
So describing a creative project, you might say, I wrote a semi-autobiographical short story about my difficult first job to highlight industry issues.
That's a fantastic use of it.
All right, well, it's time to test everyone's memory with an 8-question quiz.
Let's see how much everyone has absorbed.
Okay, so feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer. For every single question, I'll read the prompt and the options. Let's do this. Question 1. Which sentence uses the idiomatic phrase, stay in the soup correctly based on context? Option A. The incredibly hungry, enthusiastic restaurant customer aggressively decided to violently stay in the soup. Option B. The completely exhausted young cleaning employee forcefully attempted to carefully spray in the soap. Or option C. Despite the incredibly difficult corporate challenge, she bravely decided to stay in the soup.
The answer is option C. Just to remind you, to stay in the soup means remaining immersed in a messy, difficult challenge. Kind of like the messy project testing phase we discussed earlier.
Right. Question 2. Select the context where the phrase razor-sharp wit is most appropriately used. Option A. Her incredibly fast, clever, razor-sharp wit successfully made everyone laugh during the tense meeting. Option B. The dangerously sharp barber accidentally dropped his incredibly terrifying razor-sharp kit onto the floor. Or option C, the highly experienced professional surgeon requested an incredibly precise razor-sharp slit during the operation.
That would be option A. Remember, razor-sharp wit is a cutting, fast sense of humor. It is not a literal physical blade.
Exactly. Question 3. In which situation does someone accurately step outside yourself, figuratively? Option A. The highly angry, exhausted security guard demanded you violently step outside yourself right now. Option B. When terribly stressed, you should mentally step outside yourself to analyze problems more clearly. Or option C. The incredibly confused, nervous baker accidentally placed the chocolate completely step upside the shelf.
The correct answer is option B. It's that mental detachment for clarity. Remember, it's very different from just taking a step back.
Moving right along. Question 4. Which response best demonstrates the advanced noun fervor? Option A. The incredibly passionate political speaker discussed the ambitious community project with absolutely great fervor. Option B. The deeply exhausted medical patient unfortunately suffered from an incredibly dangerous, sudden, severe fever. Or option C. The deeply frustrated, enthusiastic culinary chef produced an incredibly spicy and wonderful, firm flavor.
The answer is option A. Fervor is intense passion, much, much stronger than standard enthusiasm, definitely not a medical fever.
Right. Question 5. How would a professional accurately use the phrase lend itself to something? Option A. The highly suspicious international corporate bank reluctantly agreed to strictly lend itself to something. Option B. The clumsy, exhausted professional tailor accidentally managed to completely bend itself to something heavy. Or option C. That beautiful, quiet, acoustic musical composition definitely lends itself to a perfectly relaxing evening.
It's option C. It means being naturally suited for something, just like how your data background naturally fits a strategic role.
Awesome. Question 6. Which scenario perfectly illustrates an effective impersonation? Option A. The highly skilled professional clothing tailor completed an incredibly beautiful personal alteration for me. Option B. Her incredibly accurate, funny impersonation regarding the strict university professor made the classroom laugh. Or option C. The completely terrified hospital patient unfortunately contracted an incredibly rare, complicated, dangerous internal infection.
Option B is the answer here. It's the act of mimicking mannerisms, which is totally unlike mocking, which is mean-spirited.
Okay, question 7. Which sentence accurately utilizes the advanced phrase, trick yourself into something? Option A. You can successfully trick yourself into something productive by setting multiple daily phone alarms. Option B. The highly skilled professional circus magician managed to aggressively trick yourself into something dangerous. Or option C. The highly successful, greedy financial advisor attempted to carefully track your wealth into something.
That's going to be option A. It's the psychological hack you use to overcome a mental block, rather than just forcing it with a sheer willpower.
And finally, question 8. Which of the following statements correctly uses immerse yourself figuratively? Option A. The deeply terrified professional deep-sea diver needed to completely immerse yourself in water. Option B. To completely learn the complex foreign language, you absolutely must immerse yourself in it. Or option C. The incredibly exhausted, angry hospital nurse demanded you completely reverse yourself in the hallway.
The answer is option B. Figuratively, it implies total mental absorption, which goes a step way beyond just dabbling.
Well, there you have it. If you got those right, you are well on your way.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I just want to leave everyone with one final thought to mull over today.
Go for it.
Next time you're having a conversation at work, ask yourself, is the language you are choosing semi-autobiographical? Does it reflect the rigorous, intuitive, or fervent parts of your own unique identity?
That is a great question to end on. We will see you all next time on our next Deep